The benefits of special education teachers collaborating effectively with general education teachers. We're going to talk about the pros and cons and the impacts on student and teacher outcomes. So what is collaboration? Collaboration means, the definition, to labor together or to work jointly in cooperative interaction to achieve a shared goal. In education, it focuses on the shared responsibility of educators, parents, specialists, and to develop and implement strategies that meet individual needs of students. So what is collaboration in a school setting? It includes special education, general education teachers, as well as those who assist them, working in tandem as a group. The objective is to ensure all learners, including those with behavioral, cognitive, physical, and emotional challenges, receive the support that they need. So who is involved? It's basically everyone on an IEP team, which is special education teachers, paraprofessionals, family members, or caregivers, or anyone who takes care of the student, school administrators, speech therapists, occupational therapists, adaptive PE counselors, and whoever else may be on the IEP team. So why should teachers collaborate? In special education, collaboration offers several benefits for all students, not just the ones who have disabilities, and for the many people who support them. Think about someone who goes into the classroom that is there to support a special ed student. They end up helping more than just that one student in the classroom. So collaboration promotes inclusive learning, supports differentiated instruction, encourages student engagement, enhances educational transparency, incorporates wide-ranging experiences and expertise, and broadens professional knowledge. So first we're going to talk about promoting inclusive learning. Students have access to appropriate types of assistance. When teams of professionals are available to support the learner's academic, physical, and emotional needs, students are more likely to have access to these assistance. It also integrates students with disabilities into educational classes and promotes a sense of belonging for everyone involved. Inclusion is now everywhere. Our special ed students are in the regular ed classrooms, and regular ed teachers are teaching them as well as special ed teachers. So it also supports differentiated instruction. In helping to meet a broad range of students' needs, collaboration in special education also provides greater opportunity for catering to individual needs and abilities. The differentiated instruction enables educators to reach students by tailoring their lessons to unique interests, learning styles, and aptitudes. So if we look at this graphic here, so we see that the differentiated instruction leads to improving outcomes, which increases engagement. It inspires a love for learning, increases self-awareness, and essentially helps students learn more efficiently and with deeper understanding. So this is differentiation, which means tailoring instruction to meet individual needs. Another thing that collaboration does is it encourages student engagement, and we know that students must be engaged in order to learn. When students are surrounded not only by their peers, but also by multiple supportive staff members, they are more likely to receive individualized attention that fosters engagement. An engaging special education classroom or general education classroom setting can help with most students with disabilities strengthen not only their learning but their social skills. And we know that most students with learning disabilities also struggle with basic social skills. So if we see here in this engagement grid, we want to stay on this side that they're challenged but they like it, and that means they'll be engaged. Collaboration also enhances educational transparency. Collaboration in special education requires regular contact among all those who are working as a team. This open communication among professionals and with parents keeps everyone on the same page, builds value on all knowledge and opinions, and builds trust and respect. And most parents want open communication with their teachers just so they can check in on a daily basis. Collaboration also incorporates wide-ranging expertise. We know that every teacher is an expert in different fields, and coming together with collaboration really benefits in this way. From special education teachers who tailor lessons to the needs of students with disabilities, To professionals who provide social and emotional support, everyone at the table brings a different set of skills and experiences. By collaborating to support the student, these professionals and family members can combine their knowledge to identify concerns and find innovative solutions. So here we'll discuss what a general education teacher versus special education does when it comes to collaboration. The general education will instruct the students in specific curricula dictated by the school system, while the special education teacher provides instruction by adapting and developing materials to meet the special needs of each student. The general ed teacher brings content specialization, while the special education teacher brings assessment and adaptation specializations. So here, the general ed teacher meets with the special education teacher about the students in their classroom, and then the special ed teacher will coordinate, collaborate, and meets with all the teachers, specialists, assessment coordinators, care team personnel, and students in their caseload. So basically, the general ed teacher delivers the content, and the special ed teacher changes that content to fit the needs of the students and communicates that to the entire IEP team. Collaboration also broadens professional knowledge. Educators who collaborate with other professionals in planning and problem solving can strengthen their own skills and knowledge and draw from the expertise of others. These opportunities for professional development are critical as educators gain experience. The skill development can also build on their salary as a special education teacher, and if they choose, help them pursue other roles in the field. So as teachers, we are always aiming to grow and learn new things to present to our students, and that also helps with engagement as well. So we know that each teacher has a specific skill set, whether it's, one teacher is professional in math while some are reading, and those teachers typically, that's what they're teaching every day. It's what they're experts in. So how can educators encourage collaboration in special education? So there are key actions that are needed in order for collaboration to be successful. You have to take initiative, define roles, communicate openly, establish culture, and be open-minded. Taking initiative. Teachers should reach out to others who support students who have social, physical, and mental disabilities, seeking out ways they can partner to effectively provide assistance. Special education and general education teachers, for example, can plan lessons together. So something that's beneficial that I've experienced when collaborating with my fellow teachers, I have a reading teacher and a math teacher that my students go into the classroom with. Having the same planning or lunchtime with the teachers that you work with is highly beneficial and gives them time for collaboration. So at least one day out of the week, I devote half of my planning to the reading teacher and half of my planning to the math teacher. So I understand what they're teaching every week, the following week usually, and then I tailor those lessons to my 8 resource students who do get pull-out time with me and when I reteach the general ed curriculum. So I really like this graphic because it shows that in order to take an initiative, everybody is just kind of waiting, but the one person needs to jump and take the initiative. Defining roles in collaboration is a really big point because it doesn't need to come down to the point where I guess people are pointing fingers saying, oh, you were supposed to do this, you were supposed to do that. So if we define our roles when collaborating, each individual is responsible for working with the student, should have a defined role. Teachers can lead the way in ensuring each individual understands that they have an important role to play in the success of the student and that everyone fulfills their respective responsibilities. This includes paraprofessionals. Paraprofessionals need to know what is expected of them, where they're supposed to be, what are they supposed to be doing. They even need to like a model of what their day may look like, and they need their roles to be explicitly explained because from experience, Paras sometimes won't take the initiative to do the right thing. So we got to make sure that they're on board with their roles along with everybody else on the IEP team and in the classroom. Communicate openly. It's important for teachers to keep others informed of plans to support the student and how those efforts are progressing. Communicate with parents and focus on any concerns the family may have, as well as any ways they can help the students learn more at home. So we need to make sure that our students are getting their homework every day in case there's parents that want to go home and kind of reteach the skills because they may not have gotten it in the classroom or in the special ed classroom. And communication is huge. So different ways we communicate would be phone calls, notes, home, meetings. Most schools have daily communication folders that go home where homework is in there or announcements from the school. And a lot of times, like as a special ed teacher, I'll put a note in there in case a student was really struggling with the skill, and sometimes send home a homework example for them to review with them. But communication is huge because if the parents don't know what's going on at school, then they may be lost and ask a lot of questions. Establishing culture is very important in collaboration because we know that our students come from multiple cultural backgrounds. Teachers can also help facilitate collaboration in special education by promoting a culture of inclusivity in their classrooms. They should show acceptance of and support for other professionals, students, and family members and set clear expectations for interaction. It's also a good idea for teachers to do like research on families from different cultures to guide interactions and make families feel more comfortable, especially those, you know, who may be Hispanic coming from another country or I don't know much about, like, I live in Louisiana, so I don't know much about Louisiana culture. So just being open and understanding their culture can definitely help them feel more comfortable. Which leads to being open-minded. As teachers, we always need to be open-minded and be able to accept, criticism, accept maybe advice from other teachers. Assessments are critical to ensuring students with disabilities receive services that effectively address their needs. Teachers should regularly evaluate progress in students' educational plans, welcoming ideas and opinions from others about any adjustments that could improve their efforts. Members of the students' team may have suggestions that have worked for them and may also work for other teachers as well. So let's say on an IEP team, a student has an occupational therapist that's worked with them for years, but this is your first year with the student. It's great to go to people like that for advice on, ways to get them to do their work or their best learning and teaching strategies for them. So there are many different collaborative models, ways that we can collaborate within a school system. There's co-teaching models in which one teaches and one supports. This one happens a lot in my school where the general ed teacher will be here presenting and the special ed teacher will be here and kind of monitoring. We usually keep our sped kids like in one section, but the teacher monitors the entire class. Team teaching is here where we're teaching together. So like me and another person would be up here teaching the same content, kind of chiming in as we go. Parallel teaching is here where one group of students is looking at the general ed teacher and the other one's looking at the special ed teacher, and they're teaching the same things, maybe in a little different way. And then station teaching is in which one teacher has a small group and another teacher has a small group, and then there's another group working on independent work, whether that's like on the computers or iPads or just something that they can do on their own. And then consultation models we have are indirect consultation and direct. So for consultation models, we have they involve specialists working with general educators to provide support for students with special needs. So for indirect, That's giving advice outside of the classroom. So specialists offer advice and strategies to general educators without being present in the classroom. This allows teachers to implement recommendations while maintaining their instructional autonomy. So that kind of is just giving advice and teachers taking what a consultant may say and doing it in their classroom. While direct consultation involves specialists working directly with students in the classroom. This model allows for real-time support and intervention, ensuring that the students receive immediate assistance in their learning needs. I've done both of these with a consultant last year, and it got to the point where indirect was not enough and I needed her to model something for me. And she modeled a math lesson with one of my autistic children, and it really opened my eyes, and but I had to be open-minded for her to be able to do that. So a cooperative partnership needs to be between the consultant and the consultee. If it's indirect, the dotted line shows that the consultant is not directly servicing the client. But if it's direct, that means it kind of goes this way, but also the consultant can go straight to the student as well. For our co-teaching models, co-teaching involves 2 or more educators working together in the same classroom. These models allow for a more inclusive approach to education, ensuring that students receive the attention and support they require. So for team teaching, both educators share the responsibility of delivering instruction. They work together to plan lessons, assess student progress. This approach allows for a more dynamic classroom environment where each teacher can contribute their expertise. This one is where the 2 teachers are teaching together. Parallel teaching is when the classroom is split into smaller groups, with each educator teaching the same content simultaneously. This model enables teachers to provide more individual attention to students and enhancing the learning experience, because we know as educators that teaching in a smaller group is always more effective. All right, we will talk about challenges because there are many challenges in collaboration. Time constraints, coordinating meetings is always going to be an issue. One of the primary challenges to effective collaboration is a lack of time. Educators, special education professionals, and families often have demanding schedules. Coordinating meetings and discussions can be difficult, leading to missed opportunities for collaboration. Some strategies that we could use in order to address time constraints could be schedule regular check-ins that fit everyone's calendars, and prioritize key discussions during established meeting times. One thing my district has done is creating a meeting agenda where everything that's discussed on the meetings are listed in the agenda, and then at the end there'll be an opportunity for questions and other comments that may have been missed. Differing philosophies is also another challenge in collaboration. Differing educational philosophies can create tension among all teachers. Educators may have varying beliefs about teaching methods, approaches to behavior management, and overall educational goals. These differences can hinder effective collaboration and impede progress. To overcome the challenges for differing philosophies, we can foster open discussions about educational philosophies to identify common ground and develop a shared vision for student success that aligns with the values of all stakeholders. When it comes to differing philosophies, I find that's a big thing with older teachers versus newer teachers. You know, the older teachers want to do things old school, especially when it comes to behavior. I find a lot of the older teachers don't want the behavior problems in their classroom. So that kind of stems to a challenge that we have to overcome. Communication barriers is another challenge. Effective communication is crucial for collaboration, yet barriers often arise. Misunderstandings, jargon, and different communication styles can lead to confusion. When team members do not communicate effectively, it can result in a lack of clarity regarding the students' needs and progress. One word that stuck out to me was the jargon, because we as special ed teachers have certain words and phrases that we use that a general education teacher may not understand. So to improve communication, we can establish clear communication channels and guidelines and use simple language to avoid educational jargon when speaking with families. And our last challenges is resource limitations. Resource limitations pose a significant challenge to collaboration in special education. Schools may struggle with inadequate funding, limited personnel, and insufficient materials. These limitations can affect the ability to implement effective collaborative strategies. Definitely limited personnel is one of the biggest things, is because we never feel like we have enough people like hands-on working with the kids. Strategies to address the resource limitations include seeking partnership with local organizations to enhance available resources, and utilizing technology to access online tools and materials to support collaboration. Some strategies for successful collaboration include professional development opportunities. They are essential for enhancing collaboration skills among educators and specialists. Structured meetings provide a framework for effective collaboration. Technology can significantly enhance collaboration by providing tools for communication and resource sharing. And creating a supportive culture within the educational environment is crucial for successful collaboration. The other thing that also is a good strategy is the open communication and having the planning time with the regular ed teachers. So if we see here on this one, it's collaboration. We need all these things in order for collaboration to work. We need to exchange, inspire, support, show success, share, trust, work as a team, and assist. In conclusion, collaboration in special education is vital for creating an inclusive and supportive environment where every child can thrive. Incorporating collaboration into special education practices not only empowers educators, but also fosters strong relationships with families and communities. As we continue to champion inclusive education, prioritizing collaboration will be a key to ensuring that every child flourishes during their formative years.